afternoon, and welcome to today's ceremony. Please remain standing for the national anthem. Thank you. Please be seated. I'd like to welcome you to the 2026 East Central College Adult Education High School Equivalency Recognition Ceremony. I'm Alice Whalen, Director of the Adult Education and Literacy Program. We're here to recognize and congratulate the students who have completed their high school education. But first, I'd like to talk about those who have helped make this possible. First and foremost, East Central College has for many years provided financial support, classroom space, and many other resources for the program. Thank you to the president of East Central College, Dr. John Bauer, as well as members of the East Central College Board of Trustees. In attendance today, the trustees are Ann Hartley, Board President, Cookie Hayes, Vice President, Audrey Freitag, Secretary, and Board Member Paul Gross. Also in attendance and seated on my left, your right, is Dr. Robin Walter, Vice President of Academic Affairs, and Joel Depker, Vice President of External Relations. Mary Egan is the AEL Program Coordinator, and seated off to my right is Jessica Horn, our AEL Specialist. Many of you may remember working with Mary and Jessica during your orientation or in the HiSET boot camp. This program is a success because of all these individuals and because of the East Central Area Literacy Council. Through the efforts of the East Central Area Literacy Council, volunteers have given nearly 850 hours of classroom tutoring time for students in math, reading, and language, and also as county committee members. The county committee members of the Literacy Council also raise funds to pay for this ceremony and for many of your high school equivalency tests. A few of those members are also here as well. Clynetta Weinrich is from Montgomery County. Sydney Lewis is from Franklin County and that committee. Michael Lewis works in Phelps County. And we also have volunteer Jill Ince here. She teaches and works in our Sullivan classroom. And I'm sure there's a couple of other people that came in and I did not see them, but we want to thank our volunteers on both the Literacy Council Committee and that work in our classroom as tutors. And also students, on your other side here, on your right, are some very familiar faces. They've provided many hours to help you in the classroom, your instructors. Instructors, when I call your name, if you would, please stand. Joanne Bartell, Washington. Tina Breyer, Owensville. Sarah Fry, Montgomery City. Stephanie Rowden, Cuba. Amber Warner, Rolla. Betsy Williams, Union, and our Sullivan classroom assistant, Sherry Horn, who crossed this stage just today with her associate's degree. So congratulations, Sherry. I embarrassed her a little, I think. But with all that said, and as wonderful as these individuals are, today, here and now, is a celebration for you, the friends and families of our students. You were there as babysitters, chauffeurs, financial managers, and those cheerleaders they needed so badly. Thank you for all you have done for our students. Students, please join me and your teachers in recognizing your guests with a round of applause. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Bauer, president of East Central College, to come say a few words.
Well, good afternoon. And on behalf of the Board of Trustees and the faculty and staff, allow me to congratulate you on your achievements this afternoon. We get to recognize the accomplishments of students who have successfully completed their high school equivalency exam. We know this is a special day for you and for us and for the family and friends you have here. Graduates, we know your journey has not been easy, but you're here. There may have been some detours along the way, some roadblocks, probably some difficult times, but you're here. And you're here because you persevered. You set a goal for yourself, and you stuck with it, no matter how long it took, no matter what route you took to get here. Let me tell you a few stories, and sometimes I may use the term GED because these individuals earned their high school equivalency a few years ago, but I think the stories are the same. Take Eminem, for example. He struggled in school, faced a lot of personal hardships growing up. He left high school, and then he earned his GED and continued pursuing his passion for music. Through determination and hard work, he ended up being one of the best-selling artists in the world. Whoopi Goldberg, might have heard of her, left school at a young age. She later earned her high school equivalency. She went on to become an award-winning actress, comedian, author, television host. She's inspired millions with her talent and her perseverance. Tyler Perry earned his GED after facing enormous challenges early in his life. He used his creativity and determination to build an entertainment empire and became one of the most successful filmmakers in America. In fact, in 2020, Time magazine included him on their list of the 100 most influential people in the world. We can look at 50 Cent, who earned his GED while turning his life around and building a career in music. Or maybe you've heard of Wendy's. Dave Thomas was the founder of the restaurant chain Wendy's. He returned to school decades later after building a successful business. He earned his GED at the age of 61. And he often said, despite all of the success he had in business, earning that diploma was one of his proudest accomplishments. I could go on with more stories. I think you get the point, though. Graduates, every person in this room has a story. Some of you have balanced work and family and military service, health challenges, other responsibilities that others may never fully understand because they're not in your shoes, but you're here today. Your diploma represents more than just academic success. It represents grit and courage and the decision that you made not to give up. You have a story to tell and a story that's waiting to come true. So my challenge to you today is to think about continuing that story right here at East Central College. I hope you consider East Central as the place to do just that, to keep going. Just as there are some well-known people who earned their high school equivalency diploma, there's some well-known people, many, who went to community college. And I'll tell you about one who says, I owe it all to community college. This person finished traditional high school in 1974 in California, but he describes himself as an underachieving student with lousy scores. Even with bad test scores, there's nothing that keeps you from sending those results to any college you like, so he decided he would send his scores to MIT and Villanova, and he knew they would, in his words, never accept a student like me, but maybe they'd toss some car stickers for taking a shot. I couldn't afford tuition for college anyway. The third school, the third place this person sent their scores was a community college in Hayward, California, and there he flourished. His classmates included military veterans, men and women of all ages and backgrounds. He made the dean's list. There were classes he loved, such as film, and then there were some he dropped after the first hour. He took zoology and killed his fruit fly. And he nearly failed the class, but he kept going. and he ultimately ended up in Hollywood. You may have heard of Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks said he goofed off between classes, he checked out albums from the library, but he kept going. Ultimately, he transferred to a university and then began his acting career, but it was his community college classes in acting and oral communication that paved the way for his success. When he later produced an HBO miniseries about John Adams, he used his history classes and, in fact, a pipe-smoking professor at his community college as the basis for his work as a producer. He said the things that he did in community college, the things that he saw on field trips, and the things he did on campus filled his head with dreams. And years later, he drove past the campus and he told his kids, "This is the place that made me what I am today." So this afternoon, I hope East Central and our AEL program has helped make what you are, helped you make you what you are today as of now. I just want you to realize that who you are is not yet determined. Your story is far from over. I want to suggest that as much as the faculty here have influenced you to this point, there are others who will have a profound impact down the road. And I also want to suggest that your college material, you're ready for that next step. So what does college look like? There's not a single answer to that question, because the beauty of college, and especially community college, and especially this college, is that it looks different for everyone. Maybe you're the type who wants to work with your hands. Maybe a book isn't that interesting, but putting on a welding hood is right up your alley. We can help you with that. Maybe you don't see yourself on stage or reading about Shakespeare, but you can see yourself in scrubs working in healthcare. We have programs for that. Maybe you can't keep a fruit fly alive, but the idea of prepping fruits and vegetables, on the other hand, and fish and meat, working in the kitchen, maybe that sounds like your dream job. And guess what? We can help you with that too. And maybe until now your experience in the classroom, until this moment, has been challenging. Maybe school back in the day wasn't for you, but you've made your way back with this program. And so maybe today you see yourself as college material. You should. Today's the day when you celebrate climbing to the top of a mountain. But when you climb to the top of a mountain, you look around, what do you see? You see more mountains. Today, begin that next climb. The choice is yours. You're entitled to celebrate. You're entitled to look around, enjoy the view from the top of this mountain, but then begin your next adventure, your next journey, your next climb. Congratulations. We're proud of you. Now keep going.
Thank you, Dr. Bauer. For the 7th year in a row, we are pleased to acknowledge a particular group of students that are members of the National Adult Education Honor Society. The mission of the National Adult Education Honor Society is to provide meaningful recognition to deserving adult education students, to improve student employment opportunities, to develop student ambassadors for the adult education program, and to create adult education awareness with school administrators and legislators. To qualify, students must have dependable attendance, a cooperative attitude, and a strong work ethic. The student never pays the dues. Their only obligation is to support others in taking advantage of the East Central College Adult Education and Literacy Program. I am proud to announce the 2026 members with us here today. And students, please stand when I read your name. Amber Acosta, Jordan Jones, Chelsea McCanna, Liberty Muka, Natasha O'Bannon, Albert Reese, and Jamie Sigmund. You can have a seat. Congratulations to our 2026 National Adult Education Honor Society members. Next, we have Tasha O'Bannon. She began her journey with us back in August, and like many of you, she wasn't sure she would see graduation today. However, she made it through too, and we've invited her to come up today. Tasha?
First of all, I want to thank you all on behalf of my fellow graduates of the Adult Education Literacy Program. It means a great deal for us that we have such tremendous support from friends, family, and teachers. Second of all, I imagine that many of us did not think we would be here today as graduates. We all look different and come from different backgrounds. Our stories may involve family loss, undiagnosed or misdiagnosed learning disabilities, unstable home environments, poor choices that affected our lives, inadequate learning support during childhood, and unexpected health issues. However, we have this common trait. We entered the Adult Education Literacy Program with mountains ahead of us. Today, we each conquered those mountains and became victors in our own individual ways. On a personal note, I have learned throughout my time with the Adult Education Literacy Program this priceless lesson. As long as you never give up on yourself, it is never too late to finish high school. I have also found 3 key ingredients that will help you overcome life's challenges in the classroom and beyond. First, have the courage to believe in yourself. Second, commit to learn something new every day. And third, treat others as you wish to be treated on a daily basis. I have discovered as well that it does not matter if you are the youngest or oldest sitting in a classroom, because you will have support in the Adult Education Literacy Program. Every teacher and staff member are there to help you graduate high school and step into the next chapter of your life. Finally, I want to thank my teachers, Joanne Bartell, Sherry Horn, Betsy Williams, and Kim Martin. Also members of my family who continuously kept giving moral and emotional support, and my Heavenly Father who got me back into school and gifted me wings to fly. I also want to thank Uncle Ronnie for encouraging me when I accomplished something big growing up. Now, as we close this chapter of our lives, let us look forward to giving hope and encouragement to those who yearn to accomplish the same thing we have today. Now that we have succeeded, let our stories be shining, brilliant examples to those who are waiting in the dark for that miracle which will change their lives forevermore. Live long and prosper. Go Falcons!
Thank you, Natasha. So now is the time that we've all been waiting for. Candidates, please rise. Dr. Bauer, upon the recommendation of the instructors of the Adult Education and Literacy Program, I present to you the candidates who have passed the exams for their high school equivalency certificate.
By the authority of the state of Missouri and the East Central College Board of Trustees, and upon the recommendation of the instructors of the Adult Education and Literacy Program at East Central College, I hereby confer upon each student the high school equivalency certificate with all the rights, honors, and privileges appertaining thereto. Congratulations. You may move your tassel.
Natasha O'Bannon from our Washington class. Jordan Jones from our Owensville class. Liberty Muha from our Rolla class. Devon DeSeco from our Washington class. Beth Martin from our Union class. Michaela Moore from the Montgomery City class. Cheyenne Everson from our Montgomery City class. Alexis Sutherland from the Union class. Carrie Love from the Union class. Jamie Sigmund from the Union class. Morgana Pope from the Washington class. Violet Tracy from the Montgomery City class. Chelsea McCanna from the Sullivan class. Roswell Higgs from the Owensville class. Albert Reese III from the Owensville class. Amber Acosta from the Sullivan class. Tricia Naff from the Union class. Stephen Burnetter from the Union class. Todd Hamilton from the Cuba class. Layla Hall taking her class online.
Go ahead and have a seat. Students, I also want to let you know that today, with your recognition as high school equivalency graduates, you are also eligible for one free class at East Central College towards your next step. So I do hope we'll see you back on campus and that you'll be here to take a class. Now, friends and family, we hope you will stay for a reception that we have right outside. There's a tent. But first, we need to take a group photo with our students. So if you'll be patient, one more moment. Students, we're going to meet in the back of the gym over there on the left side. So that's where we're going to take our class photo. But, you know, we wouldn't be here today without you. We celebrate your hard work and your determination, your commitment to your own success. You've turned stumbling blocks into stepping stones, and you've completed a major goal on your journey. Use that experience and apply your efforts towards your next goal. You can do so much more. Congratulations on your accomplishment. You took my last line, but we'll do it again. Thank you all for coming, and please, before we move outside, join me one more time with another round of applause for our 2026 high school equivalency graduates.